we have, well, give or take about 3 weeks. Well, yeah, almost 3 weeks of until our bow opener. I don't know if I'm gonna hunt bow opener, but we got some last minute stands to kind of put up. I have obviously the big muddy that's in the main food plot. We have that secondary food plot that we built out. I have 0 stands on, and then I got a couple little sneaky areas I'm gonna put up just sticks for a saddle where I can climb in and out of, like on a good wind day. Load up some stands, head out there, and again, just try and get them up there as quiet as possible and let them simmer for at least 2 weeks or so. You know, like a real like BMXer would probably be able to put these on in like 3 seconds. You know, someone who's like really experienced in the BMX world takes me still, 30 seconds. So. Start out like a welcome to like my deer stand MTV Cribs edition, but I mean, this kind of is a Mac Daddy of blinds. Old Pat hooked a brother up. I said, Pat, like, if we're gonna do this plot right, we're gonna do put all the effort into getting the deer here. Let's be comfortable doing it. And he's like, you got to put a muddy up there. So we did. It didn't take too much time. Did take some heavy machinery to get it up and in the spot, but let's go take a look at it. It's pretty freaking sweet. My former stand was right here last year in this oak tree behind us, so it's a good spot because every single spot in the field is less than 50 yards, and most of it's like 30 to 35. It's gonna take some getting used to, that's for sure. And I'm gonna have to practice it before actual season gets here. But this thing's sweet. What's not to like about it, right? I mean, it's awesome. But I'm very much so looking forward to actually hunting on one of these. Like even late season, start to get get a heater in here. Oh, be mint. So when we started thinking about new areas to sit this year, it's funny actually on my phone, I didn't know our property line came on the other side of what this is kind of like a little island, right? So the biggest bedding area on the whole property is just this way, and so I know they use this hardwoods like they do by the food plot as a walking corridor, and then they come in wherever they want to eat or for the food plot or whatever. The difference is this is an island, so it actually goes back down into a wetland and then back up into like the main hardwood. So there's just one of those things that everyone talks about pinch points. Everyone talks about those little spots where like you don't are low pressure. They don't expect deer to be, but they're probably flirting alongside. Everything on paper says this would be amazing. The problem is you can only hunt it with a pretty stiff wind because you got to get back here, and it has to be the right direction. But when I heard about saddle stands and when I heard about like what that can do and how sleek you can be in and out of things, it had this spot written all over it. So we got a few of them. I'm wearing a harness which actually can double as like, it's got a tether for, a normal harness if you don't want to use it in a saddle, or it's, got the whole lines and everything. And I'll be honest, it took me a little bit to get used to it. I've filmed out of them a couple times. I've never drawn a bow back in one even, but going through the paces, using it in the preseason will make you that much more comfortable when the time the bow season actually comes. So we're going to put one up here. We got a perfect little clearing here. I even see some pretty big beds sitting around here, so I know they do use this for a bedding area. Again, it's going to have to be the right wind when we do decide to hunt this. But if we can do it, I think this is where, El Macho lives. So let's get up. It's a stick bug. I thought it was a stick. I don't think they're like poisonous, but literally. Oh no. What the frick, dude? That's literally a bug shaped as a stick. Isn't that the goofiest looking alien thing you ever done seen? Look at that. The last thing I'm gonna do before we get out of here, and again we're gonna let this sit for a while, is mark where it is in hunt stand. That way we can at least make way back to it. So gonna add a waypoint, drop in a tree stand, I'll label it saddle, just because it's a saddle. And that way if we ever need to come in here in the morning, or if we ever need to come here in the evening on the way back out, we know where it is and we know where our trail is. So it is worth saying that, like, even when I'm just putting up stands, even if it's not a saddle stand or a small platform, I'm just putting up sticks, it's really nice to have this thing up because you can just lean up, lean back, use both hands. You're not trying to grab a tree. Yes, climbing with a safety harness like in the past years, technically if you fall you're safe, but like you're not able to like lean back on your harness to so you can use both hands. So it's been nice even if it's not actually set up to be a saddle stand. permanent tree. This is our second food plot back here, and even though this year we're not expecting like crazy crops or anything, since we've done this, like, you know, dirt work pretty much, we've had deer in here every single morning and every single evening. I think they're just picking away at kind of whatever we tore up, and we laid seed down, and I think we're gonna get some rain. I think it's gonna come up a little bit, but like, we're not putting beans or any kind of turnips or anything in here. It's just, I think, winter rye and some clover. So if it grows, great. If not, no big deal. But this will definitely be a stand that stays here for a while. So we're going to put one of the more permanent ones up there, some of the more permanent sticks. She'll only need 3 sections, and we'll be up the tree. Although I might go pretty high with this one, because there's a lot of these poplars and these oaks and stuff that don't have a lot of tree cover in the bottom because we've knocked them all out, and or there just isn't enough to begin with. So I'm gonna have to be pretty high to be incognito. So we might go, maybe we'll go 4 sections up. But, I mean, that's kind of neat. They're all like together, and then check this out. You pull out the one handle, you know, where you step, and that unlocks the top one. And that, yeah, smart people. Well, I can tell you that it's gonna take some time to get used to this thing. But, and again, on my property specifically, we're not, the saddle stand is more for getting in and out quietly, changing things up. And although you can do that on this property, we have enough stands and enough locations where if it's an area you want to hunt, we just leave a stand there and keep a stand there, right? But even if you were just a guy wanting to get, you know, the use of getting a stand up and down, having that line there while I'm climbing, while I'm situating a tree, everything went twice as fast. So big fan of that. Even if you're not using it for actual saddle hunting and like mobile hunting, you're just using it to put stands up, it went really quick. But we're gonna leave, hence why I'm kind of whispering, because we're getting that time of night where they kind of start rolling through. So I'd rather not have a deer see us if we can. We'll turn on the cameras as we leave, and yeah, get out of here, pack up. And the next time that we're here should be deer hunting, which is kind of crazy to think, because out of the entire year that we've spent, this whole summer we've done, all the work we've done back here, to think that hunting's right on the corner is just like, it still seems like summer. But September 17th, which is a Saturday, is our opener, and yeah, it's right around the corner. So let's get out of here. You know, it's amazing when you look back on how much work you've put in a given year, and how much work you put in even just this year, let alone the year before, all to get ready for that, you know, that bow opener. So we've got the stands where we want them, we've got the cameras where we need them to be, and everything is dialed and ready to go to get ready for that first day of bow opener. So we're gonna let everything sit, and we don't have any, you know, crazy big animals on camera yet, but you know, it's bow hunting, anything can happen, and especially as the temperatures get colder, you know, you never know what can walk through. So next step, we come back, we're gonna be bow hunting.